Hello everyone, I'm Alanah and welcome to my channel where today I am just so excited to get to tell you guys my new job after leaving Rooster Teeth, Funhouse and Inside Gaming 3 weeks ago, maybe, I think. It has been very fun to watch people guess what I would be doing next, and I do want to say I only saw 2 people guess correctly. Literally 2. One person here on YouTube and one person on Twitter. Everyone else was pretty far off base. A lot of people thinking I was doing community management or PR or marketing, which, nah, that ain't me. So let me just tell you, and try not to get emotional about it because I feel like I've already had too many sentimental moments on YouTube over the past year, but it is also a very big deal to me that I get to announce this today because I feel like I've been working towards this. I mean, it's even better than what I was working towards, but for the last 5 years, this has been the direction that I've been heading in, and I've been putting kind of everything into being in this. Let's just do it. Hi, I'm Alanah, and I'm a video game writer at Sony Santa Monica, who you might know as the studio who make God of War. I am writing a video game at one of my favorite studios in the entire world, who made one of my favorites, clearly subjective, and like kind of extra weird now because now I think I have to give you guys disclosures all the time. Hello, I am technically a Sony employee. Before I say this, full disclosure, I think that God of War is one of the best games of the generation. They sent me this nice thermos, and I have this DualShock 4. I love it. I love it so much. This is a huge deal for me. Any of you who know me well know how much I love God of War, and anyone who's probably even seen less of my content knows that my next step in life, the next thing I've repeatedly said that I wanted to do was be a video game writer. My 2 passions my entire life have always been video games and writing, which is why I've never considered myself a host or a presenter. I've always been a writer, producer first and foremost, and have very little interest in working on camera, which is a plus of this job, is that I don't have to do it anymore. I just get to write. And you know, when I left Funhouse, I said it was just an opportunity that I couldn't pass up, and to be completely explicit, what I meant by that was, it was my goal to write a video game. That is what I wanted to do. That is what I've been working towards for a long time now by writing screenplays. I wrote 10 short stories this year, writing books. I've consulted on 3 video games and technically worked on 2. All of that stuff is just in the back end. It's not stuff that I really talk about publicly, but it is all stuff that I was making effort to do. I contributed to a game jam. I spoke to 3 studios about just going to sit in their writer's room so that I know how video games are written. So it's basically like a skill set that I've been trying very hard to cultivate to make sure that I have experience. But what I expected was that I would have to start out working for an indie studio, working for a smaller studio who may not have properties that I'm super passionate about. And the reality is, junior positions so rarely show up in AAA development. Which is where I want to be working. I want to be working for Sony Santa Monica. Like, genuinely, I'm in such disbelief. And then when this position came about and I was contacted about it, and it turned out that there was a junior position at a AAA studio for this exact thing that I wanted to do. Again, that's what I mean when I said there's no way that I couldn't leave Funhouse. This kind of position so rarely comes around, and I've been working so hard at making myself equipped for it. Still not even expecting to be able to work in AAA because, yeah, people who haven't already shipped a AAA game are so much less likely to get hired. But this particular position is looking for that. So it's just the most incredible thing in the world, and I am so happy. I'm so passionate about video game writing, and I love this studio so much. I have met a number of people who work there and collaborated with them in the past. I hosted a panel for them a few years ago. They are truly incredible, and like at some point I will get to say we, like I'm a part of Santa Monica Studio, it's just mind-blowing. I guess there are some things that I need to address for my audience here. Play, Watch, Listen is not going anywhere. That is another thing about the studio that's incredible, is that they were very willing to work with me on, you know, the person that I am and the stuff that I am known for doing, and making it an easy transition where obviously I am by no means games media anymore, under 0 circumstances. I work in video game development now. That is a step that we have taken across the board. It may annoy you guys that I'm going to, for legal reasons, because I don't want to screw this up, anytime that I have to disclose that I'm a Sony employee, I'm going to have to do that probably pretty frequently. but I might just overdo it and maybe we make a meme out of it just because I want to be careful with FTC guidelines. But my point there was, Play, Watch, Listen is staying, which is my games industry podcast for anyone who doesn't know. That doesn't go anywhere. I'm still allowed to do streams, I'm still allowed to do Let's Plays, gameplay videos, all that stuff. I will have less spare time now, so I'm not going to promise the same frequency that I've had over the last few months, or at least since June is when I started uploading a lot more. Before that, it was like once or twice a week, so it'll probably drop back. But I'm still allowed to make stuff. I guess related, a much less important side note really, but a lot of people did highlight this, in some cases sort of aggressively. The reason that I was not given a PlayStation 5 was not because I like Game Pass. It's because it was considered an ethical conflict in the end, that you can't have me talking about PlayStation 5 while also being an employee under contract, just having no one know that publicly yet. So I am in full agreement with them on that. It is a bummer that I couldn't get one to the Inside Gaming team as a result of that. People seem to be very confused about that, so I just wanted to address it to erase those questions. That is why that happened. And I guess the only thing that I need from you guys is I will not be talking about what I'm working on. I'm not going to talk about anything that I'm doing. I'm not going to talk about what my days are like. That is a barrier that now becomes completely private. A, because I work in AAA game development, and B, because I kind of want it to be. My job has had to be public for so long, where the stuff that I make is literally in front of people's faces the next day or a week later. So my plan right now is to basically just lock off that part of my life and not have it be public. I'm sure if there are tremendous things that I want to share, then I will, but for the most part, I think that I will just say I'm not going to be talking about what I do for a living, ultimately. It'll be, hi, I am a writer at Santa Monica Studio. But yeah, I can't give you literally any more information than that, and don't intend to, ultimately. So that is a thing that I know is going to be a bit of an adjustment because I'm so transparent all the time. But that is always going to be the answer. If I'm asked in a stream about what I'm doing or what I wrote in that day, I'm not going to answer that stuff. I don't mind telling you guys that I'm enjoying my job. But I am definitely going to approach this with maximum professionalism and hope that my audience can respect that too, because if it gets to a point where I have to like mute the phrase God of War from my chats or something, that would be a pretty big bummer. So hopefully we don't get to that point and you guys can understand the position I'm in, and I will still continue to make content. That is definitely a thing that I intend to do very much. But for the most part, aside from the increase in disclosures, I don't think things will change that much for my audience, ultimately. Other than, I'm just so happy. Like, I'm just so stoked to be working on something that is a longer form product and be very collaborative with a lot of people. Santa Monica Studio is a big studio. It is a world-class studio, and I love all of that stuff, and it really aligns with who I am as a person, is learning from smart people and learning how to write a video game. Again, I did make sure that I've gotten some experience over the last 5 years, but this is this is a whole other ballgame, of course, and of course they know that for me too. So yes, I'm Alanah. Full disclosure, I'm a Sony employee. I'm just gonna start it now. I will see you guys next time. Bye.